Okay, what we're looking at here are my notes from last night. Now, I was in our trailer by 11 p.m. and at 11:26 p.m. I saw a car go from right to left, that would have been west to east, down Gatewood Place, past the intersection of Gatewood Terrace and Gatewood Place. Now, 26 is a symbolic number signifying the year my affair with the Nazi concentration camp survivor was in full swing, age 26. Okay, at 11:53, a car once again went right to left, west to east, down Gatewood Terrace, past the intersection of Gatewood Terrace and Gatewood Place. 53 is an important number that I don't want to mention the significance of for private reasons. I'm on the internet and wouldn't be a good idea. However, let's just say that 11:53, 11 signifying woman in symbolic number language. This is a language that's developed between me and the secret police over the past 10 years of harassment surveillance. This would mean this is a symbol for my mother, 11:53, okay? And 11:26, I'm in an affair with a woman who was my mother's age, okay? So I'm in an affair essentially with my mother, symbolically. Okay, 11:58 p.m. Now a car's going left to right across that intersection. It's going from east to west on Gatewood Place, past the intersection of Gatewood Place and Gatewood Terrace. And this number, once again, is a number that signifies my discovery when I was 5 that my mother had been unfaithful to her husband, America's Man of the Year. I caught her in a way, the way the character Little Big Man catches Mrs. Pendrake in an affair with a store clerk when Miss Pendrake brings Little Big Man to town with her and she disappears while they're in a store together, a soda fountain, and Little Big Man goes looking for her and finds her in the basement with the store clerk in the act of sex. So I did not actually see my mother having sex with anyone, but she had told me that she was going to go to this little convenience store within walking distance of our house, and I was waiting and waiting for her, and she wasn't coming back. So at the young age of 5, I went looking for her, and I undertook this highly hazardous adventure for a 5-year-old, and she was not where she said she would have been, and there was no place else she might have gone to. So it was clear that she had hooked up, as it were, with some man I guess she had met previously in one of her convenience store trips, and I've been assuming now in my old age that this man might have been a restaurant employee or owner at a restaurant where I saw the sign open at 4 p.m. outside the door, a few doors down from this convenience store, and I believe that's where she was. So the significance of 11:58 is I catch my mother being unfaithful. And now 12:30 a.m. on the 13th of July, once again I see a car going left to right, west to east, and now 12:30. I have not thought this one out. However, it could be that this person I've been calling Bishuasi, okay, she's not 40 years old, she's 30. Now, this is miraculous if it turns out to be true. That's as much as I want to say at this point, okay? And, well, a car finally came down our street. One car at 12:51 a.m. And this is a symbolic number. Why? My affair with the Nazi concentration camp survivor is referenced here because when that survivor was age 51, that was her age when I met her. She was 51. And I've been saying in various messages that it's time for you and I, Bishuasi, to meet. And so she comes down the street after I make messages like that at 12:51 saying, something. I'm not sure what the message would be in reference to our meeting. It could be that what she's saying is, we're about to meet for real. I'm letting you know that we are now just starting to meet the way you met that concentration camp survivor when she was 51. You are now going to meet me. And looking back at that 12:30 there, I am 30, she's saying. You're going to meet me now, and I'm 30. Well, if she turns out to be 30 years old, which is what the age of the picture I have of her that matches the woman who appeared on my front lawn, who highly resembled her, the picture I have of Bishuasi that matches the woman who appeared on my front lawn, I asked my wife, what is the age of this woman? And my wife said, 30. So this is in contrast to a picture I had of Bishuasi from way back a couple of years ago when I started out on all this. And I believe she looked that way. And I asked my wife, how old is this person? She said 40. So is Bishuasi 40 or is she 30? She's saying here that she's 30. She is not 40. So however it happened that she appeared to be 40, that was not her true appearance that I saw. Her true appearance was the person who appeared on my front lawn about a year ago. That is Bishuasi. And I said at the time, I was petrified with fear because this woman showed up in front of my house. She looked Hispanic and she looked young. And as far as I knew, Bashuasi was middle-aged. So, for the reasons I gave way back then, that there had been some gruesome murders near this house by Hispanics in a gang called, I think it's called MS-13, I'm not sure, but it's a Hispanic gang where women who are apparently attractive, because in one case they lured a man to a park not far from this house where he was gruesomely murdered, apparently by the woman who lured him there. And so with that in mind, and with in mind that there have been attempts on my life, including one that was almost successful in 1982, I was absolutely petrified by the woman who stopped in front of my house that night. I did not believe it was Bashuasi, but comparing the woman I saw there on my front lawn with the woman who I saw on TV and I knew to be Bashuasi, it took me it took me about a year to come around to accepting that somehow Bashuasi is not middle-aged, she's 30. And that's what I get from what I saw last night. That's all from me for now. Bye for now.